The quantum resonance alarm pierced through Commander Thea Winter's dreamless sleep, its distinctive harmonic pattern instantly recognizable after 15 years of deep space missions. She was out of her bunk before her eyes fully opened, muscle memory guiding her through the familiar motions of emergency protocol. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The ship's AI responded with its characteristic crystalline tone. "Unknown quantum signature detected, Commander. Pattern matches no known configuration in database, but..." The AI paused, something it had never done before. "But what?" Thea's fingers danced across the holographic controls, bringing up sensor readings that painted the cabin in ethereal blue light. "The signature contains embedded genetic markers identical to your own." Thea's hands froze above the controls. In 15 years of commanding quantum ships through the most dangerous sectors of known space, she had never once lost her composure. But now, her carefully maintained professional facade cracked. Only one other person in the universe shared her exact genetic markers. "Aria," she whispered, her sister's name feeling foreign on her tongue after 10 years of forced silence. The last time she had seen Aria was during the launch of the Proxima terraforming initiative. Her twin had been standing proud in her initiative uniform, her dark hair caught in Proxima's crimson light, promising to return with stories of new worlds. 2 months later, the entire initiative disappeared without a trace, taking 43 of humanity's brightest minds with it. The quantum signature pulsed again, stronger this time. Thea pulled up the navigational display, watching as coordinates materialized in the quantum stream. They pointed to the heart of the restricted zone, a sector of space that had been declared off-limits by the Terran Council after the initiative's disappearance. "Computer, verify quantum signature authenticity." Signature verified at 99.97%. Genetic markers confirmed. Warning, coordinates are within restricted zone TR-7. Access to this sector is prohibited under Council Directive 359. Thea's jaw tightened. The Council's directives had always seemed more focused on maintaining their power than protecting humanity. She had followed their rules, played their political games, earned their trust, all while secretly searching for answers about her sister's disappearance. "Plot a course to those coordinates," she ordered, already reaching for her quantum interface suit. "Commander Winters, I must remind you that entering TR-7 is a violation of Override Protocol Winters Alpha 7. Delete all logs of this conversation and engage stealth systems." The AI fell silent, and Thea felt the subtle shift as her ship, the Quantum Horizon, altered course. She moved to the observation deck, watching as the stars blurred around her. The quantum drive hummed beneath her feet, its rhythm matching her racing heartbeat. As she stood there, memories of Aria flooded back. They had been inseparable since birth, 2 parts of a whole, until the initiative had torn them apart. Thea had chosen the military path, becoming the youngest quantum ship commander in Earth's fleet. Aria had pursued xenobiology, driven by an unquenchable curiosity about alien life. The quantum signature pulsed again, stronger now. Thea pulled up her sister's last message, projected in soft holographic light. "Something incredible is happening here, Thea. Something that will change everything we know about life in the universe. If I don't make it back, don't trust what they tell you. Find the truth." That message had arrived 3 days before the initiative vanished. Now, after 10 years of dead ends and classified files, she finally had a lead. The Quantum Horizon slipped silently through space, its quantum-cloaked hull rendering it invisible to conventional sensors. As they approached the coordinates, Thea noticed something odd about the surrounding space. The stars seemed to bend slightly, as if space itself was being warped by an unseen force. "Commander," the AI's voice held a note of concern, "I'm detecting unusual quantum fluctuations ahead. The pattern suggests artificial manipulation of spacetime." Thea's fingers tightened on the control panel. "Maintain course. Full sensor sweep." The ship's quantum sensors revealed a massive structure hidden within the distortion field. It was unlike anything in Earth's database, a sprawling complex of interconnected spheres, each pulsing with an inner light that defied the laws of physics as humans understood them. And there, at the heart of it all, was the source of the quantum signature. The signal that carried her sister's genetic markers. Computer, run a complete analysis of that structure. I want to know what we're dealing with. As the AI processed the data, Thea prepared herself for whatever lay ahead. She had spent 10 years becoming the kind of person who could handle any situation, any threat. But nothing had prepared her for the possibility of finding her sister, or for the growing suspicion that whatever she discovered here would change everything she thought she knew about the universe. The quantum signature pulsed one final time, stronger than ever, carrying with it a message that made Thea's blood run cold. Hello, sister. I've been waiting for you. But I'm not who you think I am. Thea Winters stood at the threshold of a mystery 10 years in the making, unaware that she was about to uncover a truth that would shake the foundations of human existence itself. The real question wasn't where her sister had disappeared to, it was what she had become. The quantum horizon moved silently forward, carrying its commander toward a reunion that would redefine the very meaning of humanity among the stars. The alien structure loomed before the quantum horizon, its crystalline surfaces refracting light in impossible patterns. Thea guided her ship through a series of quantum-locked docking protocols that seemed to anticipate her every move. Too perfectly, she realized, as if the system knew her. Final approach, she announced to no one in particular, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The ship's quantum drive powered down with a subsonic hum, leaving only the soft pulse of life support systems. As Thea donned her quantum-enhanced EVA suit, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The structure's internal sensors swept over her ship repeatedly, each scan carrying that same haunting signature, a perfect match for her sister's genetic code. Computer, maintain stealth protocols and prepare for emergency quantum jump if needed. She checked her plasma pistol, ensuring it was properly charged. 10 years in deep space had taught her that hope for the best but prepare for the worst wasn't just a saying, it was survival. The airlock cycled, and Thea stepped into a gravity field that shouldn't have existed. The structure's interior defied human engineering, its corridors shifting and realigning like a living organism. Quantum readings from her suit's sensors fluctuated wildly, suggesting she was walking through multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Aria," she called out, her voice echoing strangely in the crystalline passages. "I'm here." Down the corridor, a familiar voice responded, sending chills down Thea's spine. "Third junction on the left." Thea moved cautiously, her military training warring with her desperate need to run toward that voice. The corridor opened into a vast chamber that seemed to contain its own galaxy, countless points of light swirling in a carefully orchestrated dance. And there, in the center of it all, stood her sister. Or someone wearing her sister's face. "Hello, Thea," the woman said, smiling with Aria's smile, but something was off about it, too perfect, too practiced. "You've changed." Thea raised her plasma pistol instinctively. "Who are you?" Direct, as always, the woman laughed, and it was Aria's laugh, but again, not quite right. "I'm both who you think I am and someone entirely different. The Meridians call me Nova now." "The Meridians?" "The beings you might call aliens, though that term is hopelessly inadequate." Nova gestured at the swirling lights around them. "They exist in quantum superposition, occupying multiple realities simultaneously. They found the initiative, found us, when we pierced the quantum veil during our terraforming attempts." Thea's finger tightened on the trigger. "Where's my sister?" Nova's expression softened. "That's complicated. I am your sister, in a way. A quantum imprint, created at the moment Aria made first contact with the Meridians. I have her memories, her genetic code, her consciousness, but I'm also something more. A clone, Thea spat the word. No, Nova shook her head. Something far more complex. The Meridians exist across multiple quantum realities. They needed to understand humanity, to study us, to prepare for what's coming. They created me as a bridge between our species. Thea's quantum sensors suddenly spiked, warning of massive energy buildups throughout the structure. What's coming? War, Nova said simply. The initiative discovered something, Thea. Something that changed everything. There are forces in the universe that make the Meridians look primitive, and they're awakening. Arya, the original Arya, she found a way to stop them, but the price. She trailed off, pain crossing her features. Where is she? Thea demanded again. Everywhere. And nowhere. Nova waved her hand, and the swirling lights coalesced into an image that made Thea's heart stop. Arya, suspended in a quantum field, her consciousness scattered across multiple dimensions. She sacrificed herself to create a quantum barrier, buying us time. But it's failing. Thea lowered her weapon slowly, her mind racing to process everything. Why contact me now? Because you're the only one who can help us save her, and everyone else. Nova stepped closer, and Thea could see the subtle differences now, tiny quantum fluctuations that made her almost shimmer. The Meridians chose me because I'm her twin, a quantum resonant. But they need you, the other half of that quantum equation, to make it work. Before Thea could respond, alarms blared throughout the structure. Nova's expression turned urgent. They've found us. The Terran Council, they're not what you think. They've been compromised. The chamber shuddered as something massive dropped out of quantum space nearby. Thea's suit sensors screamed warnings about multiple quantum signatures approaching, Earth ships, but not behaving like Earth ships should. Time to choose, sister, Nova said, extending her hand. Trust me, and maybe we save Arya and Earth. Don't, and everything ends. What's it going to be? Thea stared at the offered hand, her training telling her this was a trap, but her heart recognized something in Nova's eyes. Something that went beyond quantum physics and alien conspiracies. The chamber shook again as the first quantum torpedoes struck the structure's shields. Time to choose indeed. Thea grabbed Nova's hand just as another explosion rocked the chamber. The quantum barriers around them flared with crystalline light, barely holding against the assault. We need to get to your ship, Nova said, pulling Thea toward a corridor that hadn't existed moments before. The Meridians can mask our quantum signature, but not forever. As they ran, reality seemed to blur around them. Thea's military-enhanced senses struggled to process the way spaces folded and unfolded, how corridors stretched and compressed according to some alien geometry. Her quantum suit sensors were going haywire, detecting temporal anomalies that should have been impossible. The Council ships, Thea managed between breaths, how did they find us? Nova's expression darkened. Because they've been watching you since Arya disappeared. They knew you'd never stop looking. She pressed her hand against a crystalline panel, and a quantum interface spiraled to life. The Council made a deal 50 years ago with something ancient. Something that scared even the Meridians. Images flashed across the quantum display, massive structures hidden in dark space, ships that seemed to devour light itself, and beings that existed in dimensions human minds couldn't comprehend. The Void Architects, Nova explained. They've been sleeping for millennia, scattered across countless galaxies. The Council found one of their artifacts and made contact. They offered humanity technological advancement, power beyond imagination, in exchange for helping them fully awaken. Another explosion, closer this time. Thea could feel the structure's quantum field wavering. And Arya discovered this? She found proof during the initiative's terraforming mission. The Void Architects don't want to help humanity, they want to use us. Their technology requires conscious minds as fuel. Billions of them. They reached a junction where multiple realities seemed to converge. Nova hesitated, her form flickering slightly as she processed quantum data. The initiative team tried to warn Earth, but the Council had already been corrupted. When the Meridians offered to help, Arya. Her voice cracked. She volunteered to become the linchpin in a quantum barrier, her consciousness spread across multiple dimensions to keep the Void Architects contained. Thea's mind raced, connecting pieces of a puzzle 10 years in the making. The restricted zones. All contain quantum barrier nodes, powered by fragments of Arya's consciousness. But the barriers are failing. The Council knows it, and they're desperate to complete their deal before. A quantum torpedo breached the outer defenses, and reality itself seemed to scream. The corridor behind them began to collapse, space-time folding in on itself. Run! Nova grabbed Thea's hand again, pulling her through a quantum portal that opened into another part of the structure. They emerged near the Quantum Horizon's docking port, but 3 armored figures in Council combat suits were waiting. Commander Winters, the lead figure's voice crackled through external speakers. Step away from the quantum anomaly and prepare for extraction. That's an order. Thea raised her plasma pistol. Since when does the Council send wet work teams after its own commanders? Since those commanders started interfering with matters beyond their comprehension. The soldier raised a quantum rifle, bleeding-edge tech that shouldn't have existed yet. The anomaly has corrupted your judgment. Come quietly, and we can help you. Nova stepped forward, her form shifting slightly as she accessed the Meridian quantum field. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? The Void Architects aren't gods, they're parasites. And you're helping them prepare their feeding ground. The soldier's finger tightened on the trigger. Last warning, Commander. The Council requires your genetic material to stabilize the quantum matrices. Your sister's sacrifice won't be wasted. Time seemed to slow as Thea processed those words. They didn't want to kill her, they wanted to use her, just as they had used Arya. To power something monstrous. Nova's voice whispered in her mind, through some quantum connection she didn't understand, trust me? Thea's response was immediate, yes. What happened next occurred in quantum compressed time, too fast for human perception. Nova's form exploded into pure energy, creating a quantum shockwave that sent the soldiers flying. Thea fired her plasma pistol 3 times, each shot finding its mark with perfect precision. The quantum rifle discharged wildly, its beam fracturing reality where it struck. The ship. Nova reformed, pulling Thea toward the quantum horizon. We have minutes before their reinforcements arrive. They sprinted through the airlock, Thea's muscle memory taking her straight to the pilot's seat. The quantum drive hummed to life as her fingers flew across the controls. Where to? She asked, already plotting quantum jump trajectories. Nova interfaced directly with the ship's computer, her consciousness expanding through its systems. The quantum barrier's primary node. It's time you learned exactly what your sister sacrificed, and why we need you to save her. The quantum horizon broke free from the structure's docking clamps, just as a massive Council dreadnought emerged from quantum space. Its weapons batteries glowed with impossible energy. Jump, Nova commanded, feeding coordinates directly into the navigation system. Everything depends on what happens next. Thea engaged the quantum drive, launching them into the space between spaces. As reality blurred around them, she caught Nova watching her with an expression that mixed hope and fear in equal measure. Whatever waited at their destination would change everything, not just for them, but for all of humanity. The price of tomorrow was about to come due, and Thea had a feeling they were going to pay it in blood. The quantum horizon emerged from its jump into a region of space that defied description. Massive quantum filaments stretched across the void like luminous veins, pulsing with energy that made Thea's instruments fluctuate wildly. At the center of it all hung a structure that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, the primary node of Aria's quantum barrier. "By all the stars," Thea whispered, her hands steady on the controls despite her awe. The structure looked like a massive crystalline flower, its petals folded through dimensions that human eyes weren't meant to perceive. Nova stood behind her, one hand resting on Thea's shoulder. "This is where it happened. Where Aria made her choice." Her voice carried an echo of ancient pain. "The Meridians called it the quantum nexus, a place where all possible realities converge." Warning alerts flashed across the ship's displays as they approached. The quantum energy readings were off the charts, threatening to overwhelm even the Horizon's advanced shielding. "The barrier is failing faster than we predicted," Nova said, her form flickering as she interfaced with the ship's systems. "We have hours at most before it collapses completely." Thea guided the ship toward what appeared to be a docking port, though its geometry kept shifting as she watched. "You still haven't told me exactly what we're going to do here." "Because you wouldn't believe me if I did." Nova's expression was grim. "You need to see it for yourself." The docking procedure was unlike anything Thea had ever attempted. The port seemed to reach out for them, quantum tendrils guiding the ship into place with an intelligence of their own. As the airlock sealed, Thea felt a strange resonance in her bones, as if every atom in her body was singing in harmony with the structure. They made their way through corridors that bent reality itself, each step taking them deeper into the heart of the Nexus. Nova led with confident purpose, while Thea's military instincts screamed at the impossibility of their surroundings. Finally, they entered a vast chamber that seemed to contain universes. Quantum streams of consciousness flowed through the space like rivers of light, and in the center. "Aria," Thea breathed. Her sister hung suspended in a quantum matrix, her form both solid and ethereal. Streams of energy flowed through her, extending outward to form the barrier that held back the void architects. Her eyes were open but unseeing, focused on realities beyond human comprehension. "She's aware," Nova said softly. "Scattered across a million dimensions, but aware. Sometimes I can still feel her thoughts, echoing through the quantum field." Thea stepped closer, her hand reaching out instinctively before Nova caught her wrist. "Don't." Physical contact would disrupt the matrix. Nova's grip was gentle but firm. "The Meridians have been searching for a way to free her, to transfer the barrier's anchor point to something else. But it requires a quantum resonant, someone with a matching genetic pattern who can survive the transition." Understanding dawned. "That's why you needed me." "Yes. But there's more." Nova waved her hand, and the quantum streams coalesced into images, the void architect's true form, vast beings of dark energy that fed on consciousness itself. "The barrier doesn't just keep them out. It's been weakening them, poisoning their quantum frequency with pure human consciousness. Aria discovered that our minds, our souls if you want to call them that, generate a quantum pattern that's toxic to them." More images appeared, the Council's secret facilities, where they were attempting to stabilize quantum matrices using harvested human genetic material. "They're trying to purify human consciousness, strip away the elements that make us poison to their masters. If they succeed, Earth becomes an all-you-can-eat buffet," Thea finished grimly. Suddenly, the chamber shuddered. Warning signals pulsed through the quantum field as multiple ships dropped out of quantum space nearby. "Council dreadnoughts," Nova confirmed, her expression tight. "They followed our quantum wake. We're out of time." The chamber's defensive systems activated, layers of quantum shielding springing to life. But Thea could see from the readings that they wouldn't hold for long against a concentrated assault. "What's the plan?" she asked, drawing her plasma pistol even though she knew it would be useless against capital ships. Nova met her eyes, and in that moment, she looked exactly like Aria. "We complete the transfer. I can guide you through the quantum matrix, help you take Aria's place. My quantum nature will let me protect you from the worst of it. And Aria? If it works, she'll be free." But Thea. Nova hesitated. The transfer process, it's never been tested. The shock of dimensional reintegration could destroy her consciousness completely. And if you take her place? Another impact rocked the chamber. The quantum barriers flickered ominously. You'll be trapped, Nova continued. Scattered across dimensions, holding back the darkness. Forever. The weight of the choice pressed down on Thea like a physical force. 10 years she had searched for her sister, and now she had found her, only to face losing her all over again, one way or another. How long? She asked. Minutes. Maybe less. Nova's form rippled with quantum distortion. The Council ships are deploying quantum torpedoes. Once they breach the outer defenses. A massive explosion cut her off. Through the chamber's quantum field, Thea could see the dreadnoughts moving into attack formation. Beyond them, in the quantum slipstream, darker shapes were gathering, the Void Architects, sensing their chance. Time for one last choice. Thea Winters had spent her life making impossible decisions. Every command, every quantum jump, every battle maneuver had prepared her for this moment. She looked at her sister's suspended form, then at Nova, the quantum echo who had risked everything to bring her here. No, she said firmly. Nova blinked. What? There has to be another way. Thea holstered her plasma pistol and strode toward the quantum matrix controls. You said human consciousness is toxic to the Void Architects. You said Aria's barrier is poisoning them. So why are we playing defense? Understanding dawned in Nova's eyes. You want to weaponize the barrier. Aria didn't sacrifice herself to hold them back forever. She gave us time to find a solution. Thea's fingers flew across the quantum interface. The Council's been trying to purify human consciousness. What if we do the opposite? Another explosion rocked the chamber. Through the quantum field, they could see the Council dreadnoughts deploying boarding pods. The Void Architects' presence grew stronger, their dark energy beginning to seep through weakening points in the barrier. We amplify it, Nova whispered, her form shifting as she processed the implications. Use the quantum matrix to broadcast pure human consciousness across all dimensions. But the power required. The Council ships, Thea said, already making calculations. Their quantum cores are bleeding-edge tech, designed to interface with Void Architect energy signatures. If we can hack their systems, we can reverse the polarity. Turn their own weapons against them. Nova's hands joined Thea's on the interface. But it would take a quantum consciousness to coordinate that kind of synchronization. Someone who exists across multiple dimensions. Someone like you. Their eyes met, and in that moment, they were truly sisters, the soldier, the quantum being, and the scattered consciousness that had sacrificed everything to protect humanity. It'll destroy me, Nova said softly. Channeling that much quantum energy through my matrix will burn out every quantum thread that makes me who I am. Thea grabbed her hand. You've always been real to me. Just as real as Aria. The chamber shuddered as the first boarding pod breached the outer defenses. They could hear Council soldiers cutting through quantum-reinforced barriers. Nova squared her shoulders. We'll need to work fast. I can interface with the ship's quantum cores, but I'll need you to stabilize the matrix. If it fluctuates too much during the power transfer, Aria dies, Thea finished. I know. I've got it. They moved with practiced synchronization, as if they'd been training for this moment their entire lives. Nova's consciousness expanded outward, touching the quantum cores of the Council ships. Thea's hands danced across the controls, maintaining the delicate balance of energies flowing through her sister's suspended form. The first Council soldiers breached the chamber just as Nova began the power transfer. Quantum energy cascaded through the matrix in impossible patterns, and Thea watched in awe as Nova's form began to glow with pure consciousness. For humanity, Nova whispered, and then she became light itself. The quantum cascade was beautiful and terrible. Nova's consciousness, amplified by the stolen power of the Council ships, spread through every dimension simultaneously. The barrier didn't just hold, it expanded, transformed, became a wave of pure human awareness that swept through quantum space. The Void Architects screamed in frequencies that shattered reality. Their dark energy forms began to dissolve, poisoned by the very consciousness they had hoped to devour. The Council soldiers fell to their knees, their corrupted quantum tech overloading. And in the center of it all, Arya began to wake up. The process of dimensional reintegration was agonizing to watch. Thea held the matrix steady as her sister's consciousness pulled itself together, fragment by quantum fragment. When it was done, Arya collapsed into her arms, solid and real and whole. Thea? Arya's voice was hoarse from 10 years of quantum silence. You found me. Actually, Thea said, holding her sister tight, you found me. In more ways than one. They looked up at the quantum field where Nova had been. Nothing remained of her physical form, but the quantum readings showed traces of her consciousness, echoing through dimensions like ripples in an infinite pond. She saved us all, Arya whispered. She was you, Thea said. The best parts of you, willing to sacrifice everything twice. The quantum field stabilized around them as the last of the Void Architects faded from reality. The Council ships, their quantum cores burned out, hung powerless in space. In the aftermath of the battle, stars shone with renewed brightness, as if the universe itself was celebrating a victory. Arya leaned on Thea as they made their way back to the quantum horizon. What now? Now we tell the truth. All of it. About the Council, the Void Architects, everything. Thea smiled. And then we go home. Both of us. As they prepared for quantum jump, Thea thought she felt a familiar presence in the ship's systems. A quantum echo, perhaps, or maybe just a memory of love strong enough to transcend dimensions. The quantum horizon leapt into quantum space, carrying its crew toward a future where humanity's consciousness would never again be threatened by ancient hungers. And somewhere, in the quantum streams between realities, Nova's sacrifice continued to protect the species she had given everything to save. Some called it the end of an era. Thea knew better. It was just the beginning of humanity's true journey among the stars.